All right, we are live. Hello, Rebel Writers out there. We'll give the Facebook bots a minute to let you know that we are here live. I'm so excited for this conversation today. I'm going to make sure I've got y'all on my phone too, so I can manage any comments that are coming in. Let us know you're out there.
I thought you were going to say you wanted to be sure to get my name right.
I think I got it right by now. I love it. Nope, there we are. We're there live. I want to make sure I can say hello to the people in the comments as they're coming in live. And if you're watching the replay, let us know you're here, #replay. And so excited to get into this conversation. You may have seen me posting over the last week or so, my guest, Deborah Charnes, and her amazing new book that has just been released. When we're here to talk about From the Boxing Ring to the Ashram. Yep, there it is, that beautiful cover. Welcome, Deborah. Welcome to the Rebel Writers community here on Facebook, and congratulations on the release of this book. I'm so excited to dive in and hear about all the adventures and the process of how it went. So welcome.
Thank you. Well, I'm a rebel writer and I got this done. And actually on the back cover, it says, "Step into the ring with life's challenges and come out a champion." So that has to do with the writing process as well, I think.
100%. Absolutely. All the steps it takes to get there, to from just the ideas to putting the work in to getting all the things ready and prepped to go. Champion in our eyes here at Rebel Writers for getting this book out into the world. And it's so special. I just started reading it, so I've been thrilled to dive in, and I can't wait for the weekend so I can get my hands deeper into it. And so tell us a little bit just about what's the structure of the book and how you came about kind of thinking about how you were going to put this together and why.
Well, first of all, I have been a writer my entire life, but I have been a public relations writer. I have written public service announcements. I worked for television. I worked for radio. I worked for agencies. I can write a press, but to write a book was something that was much more offsetting for me, much more intimidating. And structure was so important to me. Throughout my life, when I have worked in marketing communications, I have always all about putting together my spreadsheets and my timelines, and I have to have everything very orderly. And I spent 3 days, I believe it was, during the early stages of COVID, when I went from working every single day and driving all over my county. I have many different jobs I juggle because I am a holistic health practitioner. And like many of us in those fields, we juggle a lot. And I've also been a writer for so long. I have been a blogger for the Houston Chronicle and the San Antonio Express News since 2009. So again, I've always juggled. But in 2020, the early stages, I decided to do a 3-day solo retreat. It was similar to Vipassana, but I allowed myself one pen and one piece of paper. Because, hey, I can't live without my paper and pencil or pen. And because I can live without a laptop and without a phone, but I had to have something to write down.
Yeah. And
all the ideas for the book came into my mind. I was not planning on writing a book. Till then. And so all of a sudden, all these ideas just flooded into me. And of course, I jotted them down. And I basically had all my chapter outline done and even my marketing plan done in the matter of, I don't know, half a day, because it was just like magic. Everything was coming to me during that mini solo retreat that I took. And again, structure I knew was going to be so important. And I decided from the start, based on my background, which is my writing background, which is much more journalistic style, I didn't want to be writing a memoir. I wanted to focus on other people because I am used to always telling other people's stories and interviewing other people. I came up with the idea of writing about a dozen of my gurus. And I came up with the idea, and then I'm like, okay, who are my dozen gurus?
Now you have to pick.
And, you know, there was slight movement with some of them, but it was pretty much set from the very start. And I will say, one of the things that I was most concerned about was, what if some of my gurus don't want to be a part of this? And so I was so overjoyed that all of them agreed. Well, almost 90% of them. I don't know what 90% of 12 is, but I'm not a mathematician. But I interviewed 11 of the 12, and so I was able to move forward from there. And these are people on 4 continents all over the world. What I talk about in the introduction was, I consider them all my gurus, but that does not mean they're my guru. I actually don't have a guru, but I have 12 gurus, and some of them are actually swamis that wear orange robes. 3 of them are monks, swamis in orange robes with the shaved heads. Another one is a medical practitioner that is based on an ashram, so he's part of the spiritual community, but he's a medical practitioner. One of them is a US Air Force rabbi chaplain, female, the first rabbi in the US Air Force. Another one is a Native American elder, also female. I have a very wide assortment of my gurus, and they all taught me something. And basically what I am trying to do is share with my readers simple, accessible, enjoyable tactics that they can do in 10 minutes a day or less to ease both physical and emotional pains. And it's all for free, because that's the other thing. You know, I live on a somewhat low budget, and so I'm not going to be offering to people, hey, pay $1,000 and look what you're going to get. And that's why it was so important to me that everything that I share is easy, accessible, and free of charge after you get your medical practitioner or your psychologist or psychiatrist, whomever, whatever professional that you need to give you the go ahead, then everything's free.
Right. That's amazing. A couple things I want to pinpoint. I really love that you have gathered such a diverse group of voices. So many lessons can be gleaned from anybody that we come across in our lives, right? We're all teachers to somebody else. We're all mirrors in this existence. And I love that you've pulled together this diverse group to show really that connection, almost like the universal connection, right? Between what we all have to share, what we all desire, and how we can help ourselves with these tools that have been bestowed upon you through your interactions and that you've brought together for your readers. It's just really beautiful. So like nobody, it feels to me like because of this diverse group, that anybody can connect to this work.
And speaking of diversity, I talk about them as being diverse because they're from 4 continents and again, some are spiritual leaders, some are researchers, some are MDs. One was a boxer. But what happened organically, or again, it just kind of came to me that one day, is that they really are diverse in terms of religion, ethnicity, and also, and again, I was not checking off any boxes. It just so happened. And of the 12, I believe, I have to count, but I believe 5 are female.
Mhm.
Which is a pretty good number, I believe, especially when you consider the types of people that I was looking at. So again, one of them has been a researcher for 30 years, affiliated with Harvard Medical School. I have, people all different backgrounds. And again, even the Swamis, of the 3 Swamis, one is female.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So many voices, so many people we can learn from, so much healing that we can access in so many ways. What is your favorite part of the book? I know maybe that's it's funny is I hate it when people ask me what's my favorite anything, because maybe what are a couple of favorite pieces that you would love to highlight about your book?
Of course, I worked in the marketing public relations field forever. And one of the jokes that one of my clients used to always say to me is, "Oh, I know I'm your favorite client." The same thing with my book. Every one of my gurus is my favorite guru. What I will say, and this again, it did not happen on purpose, it just came to be, is the title. This title was not the original title. And it reflects that one of my gurus was in the boxing ring, and it was a female boxer. And then, as I mentioned, 4 of my gurus live in ashram settings. And the image that we chose also is, there's boxing gloves and they're hung up as if you're leaving the boxing ring. It's done and over with. And I don't know if you can tell, but this represents the lotus flower, and the colors to me have a little bit of a Bollywood feel. So it gives me a sense of being in India, which I believe 4 of my gurus are in India, or 3.
And you were just there recently.
Yes, I've been there 3 times, and twice I was traveling with 2 of my gurus. So yes. But the last chapter in the book is the one about the boxer.
Huh.
And it was not talking about structure. I had everything, from that first day, the outline. And then towards the end, I questioned, I don't think this should be the first chapter. I don't think this should be the second. And we shuffled everything around. And we moved the boxer to the last chapter. And I'm so glad we did, because to me, I end the book with a big TKO. And I have somebody who I don't know personally, but it's a follower on Instagram. And that person posted reviews, and they said that they cried when they read the chapter about my boxer. And of course, the tears were not sad tears. It was, "You go, girl."
Yeah.
And because much of my book talks about overcoming obstacles. And unfortunately, in the United States, most of us are overweight, overwhelmed, unhappy, or devoid of spiritual fulfillment. The percentage of Americans with chronic pain, digestive disorders, PTSD, anxiety, and depression, they are through the roof. And those are specifically the issues that I talk about in my book. And even though maybe one chapter is about PTSD, anxiety, and depression, and another chapter is about chronic pain, things are interrelated because I tell my gurus stories, and my gurus also have experienced chronic pain or the depression, suicidal thoughts, whatever, right? And that's the other thing that I try to share. I want my gurus to be relatable. They're not they may be on a pedestal, and one of them we call His Holiness.
Yeah.
But when you read about his life challenges, you can identify. And it was very important to me that people could identify with my gurus.
Yeah. Yeah. So important. And like we talked about sort of some of the universal, like the human experience, right? There's going to be some pain, there's going to be struggle, there's going to be suffering, and there's something we can do about it. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to live your whole life that way.
Exactly. And that's why I wanted to show that all of my gurus experienced some kind of emotional, physical, or spiritual suffering, but they all got through it, and then they share their wisdom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. In other words, if you are experiencing emotional or physical pain, you are not alone. And I really want my book to be an inspirational book. And I want to light a fire and make things easy and accessible for people to live their happiest and their healthiest lives.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. May it be so for all of us. Well, you are an absolute inspiration to me, not only as a writer, but as a dear friend and cousin who, we get to spend this time in this place together. You have really shown what's possible when you put your heart and the structure, into doing the work and really putting something out there that can help so many people. So super excited to dig in. So glad you were here. Any last thoughts you want to share with our Rebel writers before we go?
Well, I wanted to make my book accessible in many ways. And one of the things that to me is accessible is that it meets people where they are. And they can pick and choose what tactics they can do. And talking about structure, every single one of my chapter has 5 easy tips. And every one of my chapter has a give it a try. And the give it a try is something that they can do in just a couple of minutes. So I'm going to just close my eyes and open at random. And here, let me find the 5 easy tips. This is about singing and silence bring inner peace. So I'm not going to go into the details. I'm just going to read the headers for the 5 easy tips. Sing every day. Become childlike in your creativity and quest for learning. Serve and uplift humanity with your talents, abilities, and gifts. Release negative emotions and love yourself and love others. So that's just one chapter's 5 easy tips. And now I'm going to go at random to another chapter and read the give it a try. This is from Connection with the Creator and the Universe. This is from the Native American elder. And the give it a try, I'm not going to read it, but she shares how to prepare blessed moon water. And it's something very easy that you can do every night. And then you incorporate that blessed moon water in different things throughout your day.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Simple and free.
Simple and free and so meaningful. I mean, especially here in this group, I love that it at random, right, picked out the call for creativity and really finding the joy and in your creative spaces and and your voice, uplifting your voice and that love. I just love it. So good. So good. Well, Rebel Writers, I have put the link to Deborah's book down there in the comments. Make sure you check it out. There's some beautiful testimonials, reviews of the book that you can look at as well, and some other information. Deborah, as always, it's a pleasure to spend time with you in this space. And congratulations on all the success in your book so far and the travels that it will take you on here in the near future. What an adventure, and what a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you. And I'm so glad to be part of your community. And I actually joined your community when I was in India, I believe. So I missed the beginning.
Yeah. You're here now. That's all that matters. I love it. It's been a pleasure. Well, check it out, Rebel Writers. From the boxing ring to the ashram, it's here for you. Quick tips, guides, and ways to connect and feel better, right? Whether you're dealing with some chronic pain, whether you're just feeling sad, whether you're wanting new ways to, reconnect with yourself, your own heart, those around you, the world at large. There's lots of gifts in this book for you. So thanks again, Deborah. Rebel Writers.
Thank you.
Take care.